Hello, YouTubers. It's Angela Logan with Everyday Shenanigans, and I'm bringing you this terrible story on early Monday, October 14th, 2019. It is the witching hour. The queen is up, and I'm going to give you a story that's deriving out of Fort Worth, Texas. Over the weekend, early Saturday morning, a African American lady, 28 years of age, lost her life to uh, gun violence by the police. Yes, another story of someone, a African American somebody, being shot dead in their home where they sleep and reside. And the story goes kind of like this. Atatiana Jefferson, 28 years of age, residing in Fort Worth, Texas, was in a home that was belonging to an elderly woman. It is not specified who the elderly woman is, but this elderly woman has been in a hospital, and Miss Tashiana Jefferson and a 8-year-old nephew were staying in this home with this lady. Well, on the night in question, a neighbor by the name of Mr. James Smith saw that the front door was open. Now, I'm assuming he thought that there was foul play, so he called the police department. Well, the police sent officers out to the home. They went around the home looking around, flashlights, looking to see what is going on. It is said that an officer saw a figure in the window. He told the person to put their hands up, come out with your hands up, and then he proceeded to shoot into the window. And just so happened, Miss Atatiana Jefferson was shot to death. Naturally, they go into the home to survey the situation, the perceived threat, because you will hear that word often with this storyline, perceived threat. They perceived a threat. How, I don't know, because the person's dead that lived there. But anyway, they go inside, do a search of the home. They find a gun in the bedroom. This information, which really I don't know how it got leaked out to the public, because allegedly the police department in Fort Worth said they can't release body cam footage from inside of a home because it goes against state law. But yet the media has information that a gun was found in the house. Now, naturally, the police department is not saying that that gun was near the young lady at the time of death, and they're not speculating that she held the gun, but it was a gun found in a bedroom there. No specific information has been given to which room that the dead was found in, or which room the gun was found in. So I'm kind of leery on how that's going to roll out, but we'll wait and see, because that's the only update that I have at the moment. But of course, Mr. Smith is grief-stricken by what transpired, and I'm going to give you his commentary on the situation. He says that I am shaken, I'm mad, I'm upset. I feel it is partly my fault, because I dialed the police department, and it makes you now rethink calling the police. He's wishing he dialed the non-emergency number. But naturally, why would you dial the non-emergency number if you think there's a prowler on someone's property or in someone's property? So he did the right thing by dialing 911. The sad part is the police didn't follow through with proper procedure as far as going into the home, assessing the situation, wearing gear or protective gear, because like you say, you don't know who was in the house. And this man called because he thought something was amiss. So there you have it. Okay. Now, as I said, Bernie Sanders, which everyone knows who Mr. Sanders is, glad that he's in better health and doing well, because he did take ill a week or two ago from heart issues, but he is fine. Obviously, he's doing well because he was on Twitter twittering. Mr. Bernie Sanders says that he is calling on the Justice Department to investigate this killing of Miss Jefferson, and he says that the killings of unarmed Black Americans have got to end. Atatiana Jefferson should be alive. Now, mind you, this story is coming 2 weeks after the verdict of Amber Geiger, who was sentenced to 10 years for murdering Botham Jean in Dallas, Texas. Okay, so yes, I believe that was Dallas, Texas. Y'all get so much information, get confused. But anyway, 2 weeks later, now we have another story of an African American, obviously shot by a white cop. Mind you, this cop just joined the force April 2018. So he's only been on the force a year and a half. Now you go put that on paper. 1 year and a half, you've already shot a woman dead in her house where she was living, where there was no perceived threat. Just a phone call of a possible prowler or suspicious circumstances. And you've murdered somebody now, 1 year and a half on the job. Naturally, he is on administrative leave pending an investigation, and I'm pissed. Why wouldn't I be? I was already angry with the Botham Jean situation. A grown man being in his own home, being gunned down by someone mistaking their apartment for his. People going back and forth on social media, naturally arguing and bickering about a dead man in his house. Frankly, I don't see what there is to argue about. This situation to me is going to be the same remnant. Are we going to argue now that what? What would be the argument in this case? Oh, she pulled a weapon out. Oh, I saw someone waving a weapon in the window. Mind you, if they were using flashlights, and I'm assuming that it was dark outside because we don't use flashlights when it's daylight time. And the article specifies that it was early Saturday morning, so I'm assuming that we were coming out of Friday night into the wee hours when the police went to the scene at this house. So I'm livid, of course, but I'm a little more somber with it today because I ain't really feeling like getting crunk. I've had enough drama as it is from the weekend, and it just seems like every time you turn around, it's something. It's some shenanigans. It's some buffoonery. It's some mayhem in this country. And I think it is sad, whether he was on the force of 1 year and a half or he was on the force 20 years. You were trained to do a job, and obviously you did not adhere to the training, or you didn't care. Whichsoever, a young lady of 28 years is now been snuffed out by a Fort Worth cop because you didn't ascertain the situation of this home. Instead of going in the house with your guns drawn and announcing yourself, let me be clear when I say this, he did not announce himself outside of the house. He just aimed and shot from allegedly seeing a figure in the window, which makes no sense to shoot through a window, not knowing what the hell was going on the inside of the house. You were supposed to enter the door and yell, police, police. If there's anyone in here, please come out with your hands up. We've got a call of blah, 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 and let it be known who you are and why you are there. I'm not going to dwell too much on the situation because, in the upcoming days and weeks as the investigation unfolds, a sister will get crunk and get ignified with it as the information. Because what I don't want to hear is that they say she had a gun and that she was holding the gun and we don't know why she would have had the gun. And yeah, I know I might be jumping the gun, but right now I've been in a real funky mood, and so I can just get about as stupid as these folks out here. Okay? And yes, this is sad. This is another tale of white and black. Black person dead, white person still standing. Okay? And by no means am I a racist. Do I have thoughts ill of other races? Of course I do. I have ill feelings of anybody that's doing something they ain't got no business. So it don't matter what your color is. Okay? My thing is know your place, know your lane. And I don't want to keep mentioning the Botham Jean, but we're going to talk about it. It's going to keep coming up because now it's a new case in the same state. What I call tricky fingers. Texas obviously has tricky fingers, fingering cops that like to shoot. Shoot without warrant, shoot without thinking, shooting from assumption, which I don't know. Maybe you need another job. But Texas ain't got it going on right now. I'm just keeping it 100. Okay, I'm roll with it on the early Monday morning in the witching hour, because it is the witching hour. Boo-boo, it's almost about 1:22 here in the high 10, and I had to bring it to you. Yes, mayhem and shenanigans, because it's getting quite old. But I don't like the comments that were made with the Botham Jean situation. White people making comments about, well, this and that. My thing is, are you only favoring the cop, her shooting that guy in that case? Because you're Caucasian and the cop was Caucasian. Speak on what is right, what should not be. Not because You're the same race. You see, I don't condone every black person who commits a certain crime. I don't condone them or adhere or rally behind them because they are African American. That's foolishness. And it's petty. You rally behind what is right. That's what you do. Arab, Jew, Mexican, whatsoever. Okay? And as I stated before in the last video, if it was a white woman killing a white man in an apartment and she was a cop, I would still feel the same way. I'd want justice. Okay? If this was a black cop and shot this young lady here in Fort Worth, I would still feel the same way. Let me make that clear for some of you who are a little bit slow and uneducated. The race don't mean nothing to me. But what does matter to me is, as Mr. Bernie Sanders has said, all these unarmed black folks getting shot down, scuffed up, beat up, wrangled up, shot up, mangled up on an assumption. It looked like, I thought it was. Well, that's not good enough. You can't bring the dead back on what you thought. It looked like a perceived threat. It was a perceived threat. Then when they start investigating and somebody actually wants to be truthful in the investigation, you find out, well, it was just what you thought. And what you thought ain't the spoken word. Because a lot of things we see out here in the world is on assumption and perception. And the dead can't come back on what you perceived as a threat. I thought they had a gun. I thought they had a knife. Come on now. You all need to stop being petty and contrite and grow up and be civilized adults and use your head and think and stop using race as an excuse to hide behind people doing wrongdoing because they are the same race as you. Because let me tell you, as quick as these black folks are falling dead in their own houses, one day, Mr. White Lady, Mr. White Man, you are going to be in the same situation somewhere. God forbid you get locked out your house, your neighbors don't know you, and they think you're breaking in your house. And then what? Somebody walks up on you talking about, put your hands up. Oh, hell, maybe this time they won't say anything. They'll just shoot you cold dead. And then somebody's now got to fight for your rights as a dead person to explain why you are laying down on the ground as a white American killed by another white cop. Yes. See, sometimes you need to put the shoe on the other foot. But see, I feel like if you're a civilized human, you shouldn't have to put the shoe on the other foot to know right from wrong. I'll be back with an update. You all stay safe and have a wonderful week. Until the next time. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for liking. Thanks for watching, Big Ange. Love ya. Bye-bye.